So I think most humans are hardwired for companionship. We are like, we want to procreate, we want kids. This is the way, the world evolves. This is the design Maharaj made. What is sexual organs for intimacy, families, and you breed, then your kids breed, then you hope for grandkids, stuff like that. So some people will confuse loneliness with solitude. So some people feel lonely and they want somebody. This day and age, you have to probably go on the apps and talk to people, get into relationships and marriage. No one's hardly doing any arranged marriage. My mate has done an arranged marriage of his kid, kind of, and I was shocked. And my other mate didn't even believe him. You know what I mean? So that's how rare it is. There was hardly any arranged marriages in my age, let alone the new generation, which can be a positive thing. Obviously, it can be a negative thing because dating can lead to a lot of uh, physical relationships as well, and body count, baggage, pair bonding, and izzard, and all sorts of issues. But if you're dating and you're not doing like physical and you're getting to know the person, you have to kind of know the person, but you don't really know someone until you live with them as well. So, but you can kind of half have a vague guess on how they're gonna be. Solitude, on the other hand, is someone that's just happy and peace. He doesn't need anyone or she doesn't need anybody. So a lot of sons and people that have failed marriages or whatever, they choose solitude, which is they don't feel lonely because the Naad Shabbat, the vibration, the bliss of Kirtan, Simran meditation, other purposes in life, charity work, whatever, they have given up on or not done on a start any sort of family life or stuff like that. They have no desire for that. They have different purposes. So, but if you're lonely and it's bothering you, then be proactive. That's all I can say. So you have to have a purpose in life. Some people, the purpose is humanity, aiding humanity, doing seva. Some people is to have a family, do sikhi. Some people's aim is to do bhakti, get to God. Some people is to fight for the band. Some people is to just work a job. Some people is just look after their family. So whatever your purpose is, writing a book, helping this, helping that, combating injustices through writing or parliament or politics or being Gurdwara Pradhan, whatever it is, you need some sort of purpose, some sort of goal. Some people have tried the Bantik route, Sangat route, and they're like, damn, I'm just focusing on my family. That was toxic. I get that. I've been there myself. A lot of people that I speak to have backed away from orgs and stuff like that, and just toxic Sangat and toxic Bantik orgs. And they're in a much better place now because of the negative experience they've had. Well, some people have positive experience and they're Jardikala and they like going to the Sangat and are helping in Bantik orgs. So it's that's subjective, or it depends on what you go through in life. But most people's purpose is to support the wife or husband and raise the kids. So now we're going to look at some healthy tips on how you can make the family unit stronger. Now, to those of you that are unmarried, start having therapy. Everyone picks up trauma in life journey, inner child trauma, therapy, you know what I mean? There's wounds that we pick up. Our parents try their best, or we try our best, but we fail, we cause trauma because we're a product of our trauma. So before you tie the knot, both of you should seek trauma therapy. You might not think you have trauma, but try the therapy, you see what unfolds. Fix that, progress from it. If you're a couple on the verge of a divorce, try couples therapy. This therapy stuff, it works. It unravels your own faults, your own stuff where you're going wrong, and you can rectify it, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So you're there now, you've got the family. So you say you would take bullets for your kids, your wife, but would you sort your life out? Would you live a healthy life for your family? Would you eat healthy, train? You know what I mean? Because a lot of Punjabis are dying from alcoholism, diabetes too, kidney failures, diseases. Do you know what I mean? Because they're not really having a productive life, as in healthy life. So we're going to look at some lifestyle habits and see how we can change. So as day-to-day life grinds us down, sometimes as a family, just going to another town, trying a different restaurant, going for a hike, going to a different park, changing sceneries, changing environments, it can act as a neural reset. This is why vacations, holidays. Do you know what I mean? Going to resorts as a family, just change of scenery can kind of, calm any tensions and just give that like a booster injection. You know what I mean? That's what you need sometimes. So keep going somewhere new, even if it's just a short trip on the weekend. A simple change of scenery, like a quick drive or train ride to a nearby town, can break mental autopilot and lower stress hormones within just a few hours. So it's important to do strength training to make your muscles strong and big because they keep your blood circulating, and it just keeps everything, the glucose, it uses it up, and you know what I mean. So you got to be active basically in life. You know what I mean. So back in the days, it was manual work, walking about. Now people don't walk about as much in it. It's car, sleep, sitting down. So we're sedentary. You know what I mean. Walking is seen as exercise, but it was just a tool to go and get the water. It was the way people transported themselves. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't an exercise back in the day. It was just something that normally people do. You know what I mean? Normal people did, but obviously the luxuries of modern life. But then we've got modern diseases. So 3 walks a week reduces risk of developing dementia in the next 5 years by 30%. Not running, not the gym, not supplements, just walking. So that's how potent walking can be. Hour walk daily, half an hour walk near the nature and park. As soon as I had my health condition, I couldn't walk and got diabetes too straight away. Do you know what I mean? Straight away. Before, when I was just walking, I didn't have diabetes too. So that's how important walking is. So energy takers, sugar. I'm addicted to sugar myself. You know what I mean? That's how I deal with my depression or negativity. It's a quick cheer me up, but then you have a downside to it, and it gives you diabetes too. It gives you so many other problems. But I'm going through that struggle myself. Comfort eating, people pleasing, sitting all day, worrying, dehydration, junk food, the news, resentment, clutter, looking to feng shui. The more clutter you have in your house, it's not good for your mental health. Do you know what I mean? Energy givers, sunlight, movement, nutritious food, music, acceptance, friends. It depends what type of friends. And minimalism and love, 100%. So scientists just found out that exercise creates new brain cells within 48 hours, and specific movements generate specific neurons. There you go. Study found stair climb for just 2 minutes is the heart tuner that lowers your blood pressure as much as a long walk, acting as a quick burst cleaner for your arteries. So if the weather's crap and you don't want to go for a walk, just go up and down the stairs a few times, walk up and down the corridor, walk in your living room, you know what I mean? Especially after a meal, so that your glucose doesn't rise too high. Study reveals 2 years of consistent exercise enough to reverse 20 years of heart aging. New research confirms exercise is among the most effective ways to reduce depression, anxiety, and improve mental well-being. 100%. You know what I mean? Join the gym, do some exercise. You know what I mean? Do a balanced exercise, rotational exercises as well. Don't go too mad, but just do something. Keep moving, because the older generation than me, they didn't look after themselves. You know what I mean? A lot of them died really young. Because of they didn't look after themselves. A lot of heart disease, diabetes too, cancers, stuff like that. A lot of them get overweight. They watch Z's TV. Them times just watch these Asian dramas, get stressed, negative, and stuff like that. We need to snap out of that and go out and about a bit more. So eating too much sugar impairs your brain's ability to learn new information. Studies on. Yes, this is true. You get brain fog. I'm eating a lot of sugar now, so when I'm playing a computer game, I can't remember the buttons the next time I want to play. Processed carbs are sugar. So, diet, there's so many different types of diets, the Mediterranean diet, the ketogenic diet, the all meat diet, this diet, that diet. Try to eat whole foods, fruits, veggies, whole fruits, and whole foods, you know, whole grains. If you're gonna have grains, not trying to have too much grains, eat healthy proteins, just eat healthy food, healthy fats. So people who get frequent, genuine hugs get sick less often and recover faster. Your body keeps score of connection, right? Yeah. So when you get, it's comfort in it. So if you hug your partner, it releases good hormones, and that helps your body, helps your chemistry. If you haven't got a partner, meditation and anything that's gonna, the same hormones get released. During sex, hugging, meditation. It's the same hormones. There's only a few hormones, dopamine and what I mean? I forgot the rest of the names, but there's hormones that elevate when you feel nice. Obviously, meditation, spirituality, it takes us deeper than the sensory organs and the sensory pleasures, and it takes us above that, you know what I mean, above the sensory stuff. But it's a hard place to get to, innit? But until you're not there, then you can use like a hug from your partner or your children and stuff, and it's good for you. When you first get married, then you all over each other in it because it's the honeymoon period. So begging for intimacy destroys a man's mentally, leading to diminished self-esteem, deep emotional pain, and profound isolation. So when your woman's all over you and she wants to be intimate, you think like she's into you, you feel good about yourself, and you're getting your needs met and all that sort of stuff. But it doesn't mean if she's not into you in an intimate way that she doesn't care. People, women go through stuff. You know, they have different hormone changes in during the time of their period, and sometimes the honeymoon period is gone, and she's had the babies, or it could be she's going through emotional turmoil, or you know, it doesn't always mean she's cheating or she doesn't love you. There's always stuff going on. Also, everyone's on different spirituality levels. So if her spirituality has gone higher, and she's trying to escape the sensory pleasures, that's a conversation that needs to be had as well. So that's why I always say compatibility is important in a marriage. Your goals are important. If you want to reach such or you want to merge with God, then you know there's going to be stages in life that where you know people control their lust or they want to escape the sensory pleasures and evolve and move on a higher plane. So hormone balances and imbalances. So male need testosterone, but we've seen a lot of emasculated men. They're more in their feminine because their testosterone levels are low. So get your hormone levels checked, and you know try natural things to boost your hormones. Women need estrogen in it. They need. That's why I've seen a lot of women in the masculine because the testosterone levels can be too high and the estrogen levels can be too low. So men exercise, eat hormone supporting foods, good sleep, manage your stress, get sunlight, vitamin D, stay hydrated, and avoid harmful habits like smoking, alcohol, junk food, too much processed foods. So for women, same thing, eat a balanced diet, manage stress, sleep well, exercise regularly, support gut health, limit toxins, track your cycle. Do you know what I mean? Research into this sort of stuff, it's all on Chat GPT now, isn't it? You can you know, balance your estrogen levels, know. So yeah, life is full of tension, your muscles tighten up. So get regular massages, massage each other if you've got a partner, get massage instruments, massage guns, foam rolling, because your fascia starts getting tangled up and then your circulation stops, and that tension in your muscles, it plays effect on your mind. I suffer from contractures and the pain is debilitating, and the tension that it causes in my brain. You know, if I didn't have the medications I had, I would be able to feel it. You know, it just makes you go angry, man. You know what I mean? So reflexology is a thing, innit? Always under your feet is all nerves and stuff, and if you massage them, and you know, it can really release a lot of tension in your body. Yeah, so kids are addicted to screens these days because of the hormones, the pleasure pleasing hormones. They get the hits. Plus with the shorts, it's a quick fix. It's like a crackhead junkie taking a hit, and the kids are losing attention span. So these are other things that we can do with our kids to release these hormones. So with oxytocin, we can offline socializing, you know, secret handshakes, making new friends, listening to family stories, looking after siblings, hugging family, saying thank you, playing with pets, 20 seconds of eye contact. So serotonin, rough and tumble play, barefoot in the grass, which is called earthing, isn't it? Earthing. Playing an instrument, foods rich in tryptophan, I can't even say that, vitamin B, C, D, stargazing with family, drumming rhythms, creating something by hand, having a night routine like, you know, doing your bath or Simran or mum telling you a bedtime story. So endorphins, walking to school, you know, we get lifts everywhere. Learning martial arts, playing sports, dancing to music, going climbing, singing in the car, stretching their body, sprint races, and obstacle courses. So dopamine, making their bed, mastering a skill, completing small goals, protein-rich foods, bedtime story again, family dinners, moments of being bored, splashing cold water on face, playing with Lego. So keeping a lavender plant in your bedroom, the scent deters moths, flies, fleas, mosquito, ants, spiders, and it can help calm the nerve system down and help you sleep. So one spider plant can absorb up to 95% of the chemicals like formaldehyde and mold spurs from a 200 square foot area of your home within 24 hours. So this is good for your breathing and respiratory. Right, that's it, guys. I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna try to have a little detox. If there's anything emergency, I'll post up. If I've got some lives planned, if they go through, we'll post them up. I'm gonna have a little proper detox.